Hi everyone, my name is Marjan Kia. In this PowerPoint, I'm going to talking about different components of risk management. The overview is what is a risk register and why is it in use? What is project risk control? Why is it important? When would you create a risk assessment chart? What is contained in a risk mitigation matrix? What is the probability and impact matrix? When thinking about your specific project, who will your team determine the various project risks and come to a consensus regarding the risks? And many risks, especially the probability and impact, can be subjective. How do project managers reduce the subjectivity of the probability and impact on the project? What is a risk register and why is it used? The risk register is a document that is used in risk management as a tool to identify possible obstacles in a project. Also, the purpose of this process is to identify, analyze, and solve risks before they become problems. A risk register tracks potential risk specifically within a project and helps the team better plan their risk responses. What is project risk control? Why is it important? Risk monitoring and control is the last step of the risk management process that is applied during the project implementation, and if not done correctly, it can cause the project to fail. Project risk control responses the entire risk management phase from beginning to end and includes the risk identification, planning, and documentation. When do you create a risk assessment chart? The risk assessment chart is created in the early stages of the project teams when the risk management process begins. Probability and impact are two important factors in risk assessment. The assessment matrix can present complex data much simpler and more understandable. Risk assessment helps the team to prioritize their approaches to respond to the risk and save time on the project. What is included in the risk mitigation matrix? The risk mitigation matrix is a tool that project teams use during risk management planning. The risk reduction matrix includes the individual risk and possible ways to respond to it, as well as the answer to who and when it is done. A risk mitigation matrix identifies the risk but also suggests mitigation methods and when the response should begin and who is responsible for it. This matrix allows the team to plan how to respond to specific risks. What is the probability and impact matrix? One of the risk assessment methods is the use of probability factors and risk impact. Once the influencing parameters of a risk, such as cost, schedule, performance, are obtained, the probability impact grade ranking system and be used to assess the risk. This approach examines the probability, the accuracy of each of the risks, and determines the potential effects on the project goals in terms of time, cost, and quality. When you think about your specific project, how does your team determine the various project risks and reach consensus on the risks? Our project is related to setting up a new branch in Canada. This project can have various risks for us, including climate change, exchange rate changes, changes in commercial, administrative, and political laws, and existence of competitors, etc. We were able to identify different risk possibility by using the purpose of the risk management plan, contingency and management reserves, probability and impact matrix, risk registration, risk response strategies, risk monitoring list, and risk audit activities. By registering the risk, we examine the threats and opportunities, and finally we summarize the risks and their control using charts. Many risks, especially probability and impact, can be subjective. How do project managers reduce the subjective probability and impact on a project? One of the most difficult stages of risk assessments is determining the probability of accuracy of risk. Many risks can be subjective and may change in impact. Likelihood and new risks are identified during the project. Also, by constantly looking at risks and reviewing them in the past, you can change the response opportunely. To start risk management, it's first necessary to describe the project clearly and accurately to you want to deliver and to identify and evaluate the risks. In other words, you must write your project's vision, goal, scope, and products in details. In this way, the possible risks of each stage of the project are identified. After that, you invite the project team members to participate with you in handling all these risks. Here is all my references, and thank you for your time.